Drake leaned over his phone, watching the first clip of Kendrick Lamar in the studio, unaware that every move he made was being recorded. Kendrick Lamar laughed with his crew, throwing casual jabs at rivals, not knowing Drake had saved every second of their conversation. Drake smirked, realizing that this was more than music. This was power, and power came from knowing what others wanted to hide. Travis Scott entered the room next. Unaware that the cameras had captured his every reaction, his subtle nods, and the way he quietly criticized Nicki Minaj's verse in private. Drake paused the footage, studying Travis Scott's gestures, the way he tried to cover up a mistake, knowing the public would never see this side of him. Nicki Minaj's energy in the clips was electric, full of confidence, but Drake noticed the cracks, the moments when she doubted her collaborators, moments she thought were private, moments she never wanted leaked. Each frame Drake watched added fuel to the fire he was about to start, a fire that would make headlines, break friendships, and shift alliances forever. Kendrick Lamar's reaction to certain beats was priceless. He argued over lyrics, questioned Travis Scott's input, and even laughed at Drake in old messages that nobody knew existed. Drake's collection of secret footage showed everything: studio arguments, late-night text leaks, private conversations, and hidden collaborations. Travis Scott was often unaware that Drake had tracked every move, from the exact timing he stepped into the recording booth to the subtle smirks he exchanged with engineers. Nicki Minaj, ever the queen of theatrics, unknowingly provided some of the most explosive footage. Her side-eye, her whispered comments, her private laughs, all captured by Drake, who knew how to turn every small detail into a headline. Drake replayed the clips, comparing reactions, noticing patterns, and seeing how each star moved when they thought nobody was watching. The tension between Kendrick Lamar and Travis Scott in these videos was subtle but undeniable, and Drake knew how to frame it so the public would feel the impact. Every new clip Drake opened revealed something deeper. Kendrick Lamar critiquing Travis Scott behind closed doors. Travis Scott sharing hidden doubts about Nicki Minaj's strategy. Nicki Minaj questioning Kendrick Lamar's commitment to the track, all recorded without their knowledge. Drake's mind raced, imagining the reaction of fans, the media frenzy, and how quickly the hip-hop world would explode once this secret footage hit the internet. Even small gestures mattered. The way Travis Scott tapped his pen, the way Kendrick Lamar rolled his eyes, the way Nicki Minaj shifted uncomfortably, all of it a part of Drake's arsenal. Drake didn't just watch the footage, he analyzed it, planning the sequence of leaks to maximize chaos and exposure. The interplay between Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, and Nicki Minaj was complicated, full of rivalry, respect, envy, and hidden agendas, and Drake had it all mapped out. Drake's phone buzzed with a new message from an anonymous source, claiming more clips had surfaced showing Kendrick Lamar and Travis Scott in heated debates about unreleased tracks. Drake smiled, knowing that the timing was perfect, that the next release would shake the industry, and that Nicki Minaj's responses would be unavoidable. Kendrick Lamar's fierce intensity in the studio was contrasted by moments of insecurity that Drake had caught on camera. Travis Scott's charisma and bravado often masked his anxiety, but Drake's footage revealed it all. Nicki Minaj, confident yet calculating, thought she was untouchable, but Drake had every angle, every whispered strategy, every private glance. The power Drake held in these clips wasn't just about gossip. It was a lesson in influence, in control, and in understanding the vulnerabilities of even the biggest stars. The tension between Kendrick Lamar and Travis Scott was palpable. Drake noticed how Kendrick's words could sting, how Travis's reactions could betray his pride, and how Nicki Minaj's interjections often escalated situations subtly. Drake planned to release the clips strategically, ensuring that each reveal built on the last, making Kendrick Lamar's fans question his choices, Travis Scott's supporters reconsider his persona, and Nicki Minaj followers see cracks in her armor. The footage included moments nobody expected: Kendrick Lamar laughing at Drake behind his back, Travis Scott rolling his eyes at Nicki Minaj's advice, Nicki Minaj secretly texting collaborators about her next moves, all recorded and ready to expose. Drake's meticulous attention to detail meant that nothing was left to chance. Every second of footage was a weapon, every interaction a story. Drake replayed a clip of Kendrick Lamar trying to teach Travis Scott a complicated verse, only for Travis to get it wrong multiple times. Nicki Minaj's reaction was priceless, a mixture of amusement and frustration, captured perfectly by Drake's hidden cameras. Drake noticed how Kendrick Lamar's eyes flickered whenever he thought Travis Scott wasn't paying attention, and how Travis Scott subtly tried to assert dominance over Nicki Minaj, only to be undermined by a misstep. Drake's plan wasn't to humiliate them completely, but to show the truth of what happens when stars collide in the studio, when egos clash, and when private moments are exposed. Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, and Nicki Minaj had no idea that their interactions would soon be public, that the world would dissect their every word, gesture, and expression. The moment Drake released the first clip, the internet erupted. Kendrick Lamar's fans flooded social media, debating every frame, every word, every gesture. The video showed Kendrick Lamar laughing at Travis Scott's mistake, and fans couldn't believe their eyes. Travis Scott's supporters rushed to defend him, claiming the clip was edited, that the context was missing, but Drake had already planned for that. Nicki Minaj followers immediately noticed her side-eye moments, her whispered critiques, her subtle manipulations, and the comments exploded with speculation. Drake watched as the numbers climbed, knowing that every like, every share, and every reaction was fueling the fire he had built. The clip of Kendrick Lamar coaching Travis Scott while Nicki Minaj watched, questioning every line, became the first viral moment, and Drake's smile widened. Travis Scott, unaware at first that the footage had leaked, checked his phone and froze. Kendrick Lamar had already posted cryptic comments on social media, referencing collaboration and trust, making fans read between the lines. Nicki Minaj responded in her own way, dropping a lyric hinting at betrayal and hidden agendas. Drake had predicted these reactions. He had anticipated the subtweet wars, the fan speculation, and the media coverage. Kendrick Lamar's studio persona, the carefully crafted public image of confidence and control, started to crack under the weight of the clips. Travis Scott's playful bravado looked defensive and insecure when replayed, and Nicki Minaj's calculated comments were scrutinized for hidden meaning. Every second Drake had captured was now a weapon, shaping narratives and influencing opinions worldwide. The second clip hit hours later, showing Travis Scott in a heated exchange with Kendrick Lamar over unreleased verses. Travis Scott raised his voice. Kendrick Lamar stood firm, and Nicki Minaj caught in between, tried to mediate while subtly undermining both. Fans dissected the body language, the tone, the subtle pauses, and Drake watched as hashtags trended globally. Kendrick Lamar's intensity was praised by some, criticized by others, and Travis Scott's frustration became the centerpiece of online debate. Nicki Minaj's role was under a microscope. Her followers analyzed every glance, every smirk, every hesitation, and the narrative of hidden power plays took over the headlines. Drake knew that the clips weren't just entertainment, they were each move carefully calculated to maximize exposure. Kendrick Lamar tried to respond, posting a behind-the-scenes snippet showing him in a different light, trying to prove collaboration and camaraderie. Travis Scott released his own post, emphasizing loyalty and creative freedom. Nicki Minaj, never one to stay silent, dropped a short verse on Instagram, teasing the drama and fueling speculation. Drake watched it all unfold, noting which responses escalated tension and which calmed certain factions. Every reaction added context to the footage he had leaked, and every fan opinion created a ripple effect across forums, blogs, and talk shows. Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, and Nicki Minaj were suddenly in a storm of public scrutiny, and Drake had orchestrated it perfectly. The media caught wind of the footage next, reporting on the leaked clips with headlines designed to provoke. Kendrick Lamar's reputation for being focused and controlled was questioned. Travis Scott's collaborative skills were debated, and Nicki Minaj's intentions were dissected. Drake's leak became the trending topic on every platform, dominating YouTube comments, Twitter threads, and Instagram stories. Fans created reaction videos, memes, and breakdowns, analyzing Kendrick Lamar's expressions, Travis Scott's reactions, and Nicki Minaj's subtle cues. Drake's plan had worked. The footage wasn't just a leak, it was a cultural event. Every interaction, every moment caught on camera, amplified the drama and reshaped public perception of all three artists. The third clip showed Nicki Minaj in a private meeting with producers, hinting at moves she had planned without Kendrick Lamar or Travis Scott knowing. Kendrick Lamar and Travis Scott appeared separately, unaware of her strategy, arguing over beats and lyrics. The timing of the release made it seem like Nicki Minaj was manipulating both sides, and social media exploded with theories. Drake had calculated the exact order to release the clips to maximize suspense, controversy, and debate. Kendrick Lamar's fanbase was divided. Travis Scott's supporters were defensive, and Nicki Minaj's followers were analyzing her every word for signs of strategy. Drake's footage exposed the hidden dynamics in ways that no fan had ever imagined, showing the interplay of power, ego, and artistry among three of hip-hop's biggest names. As the night progressed, Drake's leaks snowballed. Kendrick Lamar posted a subtle apology hinting at miscommunication. Travis Scott went live to show studio vibes, and Nicki Minaj released a cryptic video addressing creativity and loyalty. Each post drove more attention to Drake's leaked footage, fueling speculation about what else he might have. Fans began piecing together narratives, replaying the clips for hidden messages, debating who had been right, who had been wrong, and who was secretly pulling the strings. Drake's plan to create a controlled storm of chaos, controversy, and curiosity was succeeding beyond his expectations. The footage of Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, and Nicki Minaj had become more than viral content. It had become a lens through which millions judged alliances, talent, and loyalty. Kendrick Lamar could feel the heat from the leaked footage as it continued to circulate. Every time he scrolled through social media, he saw Travis Scott's name trending next to his, Nicki Minaj's face plastered across reaction videos, and his own studio moments dissected for tone, body language, and intent. Kendrick Lamar's team scrambled to control the narrative, but Drake had already set the game in motion. Travis Scott wasn't backing down either. He was furious, privately messaging producers and collaborators, demanding explanations and questioning loyalty. Nicki Minaj, always the strategist, remained calculated but visibly tense, knowing that every smirk, every word, and every glance from the footage had been magnified under the public microscope. Drake watched from the sidelines as the tension between Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, and Nicki Minaj escalated, knowing that the storm he had created was now fully uncontainable. The leaked clip showing Travis Scott mocking Kendrick Lamar's rehearsal technique caused immediate backlash. Kendrick Lamar fans called it disrespectful, claiming Travis Scott lacked professionalism. Travis Scott's followers fired back, pointing to Kendrick Lamar's private frustrations as overbearing. Nicki Minaj's subtle reactions in the same clip were interpreted as silent judgment, and her followers praised her for noticing what fans hadn't yet seen. Drake had timed the release perfectly, knowing that chaos would be magnified when fans dissected every frame. Kendrick Lamar attempted to post a subtle clarification, but the damage had already been done. Travis Scott went live, visibly irritated, addressing fans indirectly, while Nicki Minaj shared snippets of lyrics that hinted at betrayal and tension. Each move amplified the drama, feeding into the frenzy Drake had orchestrated. In a particularly explosive clip, Kendrick Lamar confronted Travis Scott about missing studio sessions, his voice sharp, his frustration evident. Travis Scott's defensiveness came through, revealing cracks in his usually composed persona. Nicki Minaj, standing slightly apart, seemed to mediate, but also inserted comments that highlighted her own influence over the project. Fans replayed the clip endlessly, debating who was at fault, who had the upper hand, and whether Nicki Minaj had secretly been manipulating the situation. Drake knew that this footage would dominate talk shows, podcasts, and online forums for days. Every second of Kendrick Lamar's intensity, Travis Scott's temper, and Nicki Minaj's cunning was now public, and the ripple effect was undeniable. The leaks weren't just stirring fan debates. They reached the media and celebrities. Hip-hop journalists dissected Kendrick Lamar's tone, speculated about Travis Scott's motives, and praised Nicki Minaj's control in subtle ways. Talk shows invited fans to comment on every leaked clip, replaying moments of tension between Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, and Nicki Minaj. Drake's social media accounts remained silent, fueling speculation that he had more in reserve. Kendrick Lamar started receiving direct messages from industry figures. Travis Scott was contacted by collaborators concerned about public perception, and Nicki Minaj's team tried to spin her image as calm and composed amid the chaos. Every move was calculated, but Drake's plan ensured that the drama remained the center of attention. Then came the most shocking footage yet. Nicki Minaj, in a private discussion with a producer, revealing strategy that involved both Kendrick Lamar and Travis Scott unknowingly. The clip showed Nicki Minaj orchestrating decisions that could shift power, manipulate release timelines, and subtly undermine Travis Scott's input. Fans erupted, accusing Nicki Minaj of being the mastermind behind studio conflicts, while media outlets debated the authenticity and implications. Kendrick Lamar and Travis Scott were forced to respond publicly. Kendrick Lamar posted a cryptic message about collaboration and trust. Travis Scott shared a behind-the-scenes look at studio work to defend his dedication, and Nicki Minaj teased fans with lyrics referencing ambition and control. Drake's leaks had turned private strategy into a public spectacle, and every fan, journalist, and fellow artist was watching. Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, and Nicki Minaj now faced the consequences of exposure. Private conversations were no longer private. Studio disputes were no longer confidential, and every subtle reaction had been magnified for the world to analyze. Drake had carefully curated the order of leaks, ensuring that each reveal built upon the last, keeping tension high and reactions raw. The interplay between Kendrick Lamar's authority, Travis Scott's creativity, and Nicki Minaj's cunning had become a public narrative, dissected across multiple platforms. Each clip released by Drake was a piece of a larger puzzle, showing how alliances shifted, how egos clashed, and how hidden agendas played out behind closed doors. As Part 3 closes, Kendrick Lamar is seen pacing the studio, replaying the leaked footage in disbelief. Travis Scott is on a video call with collaborators, strategizing damage control, and Nicki Minaj is typing out lyrics with pointed double meanings. Drake, unseen but omnipresent in this drama, watches the storm he created unfold, knowing that the final chapter will be even more explosive. The world is now fully aware of Kendrick Lamar's temper, Travis Scott's insecurity, and Nicki Minaj's calculated influence. Every fan debate, every headline, and every reaction has been meticulously orchestrated by Drake, and the stage is set for the ultimate reveal that will leave the industry reeling. The day the final clips dropped, Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, and Nicki Minaj all felt the world closing in on them. The footage Drake had held back until now revealed private arguments, veiled insults, and moments of jealousy that none of the stars wanted exposed. Kendrick Lamar's focused intensity clashed with Travis Scott's impulsive creativity, while Nicki Minaj's strategic moves behind the scenes became the headline everyone was talking about. Fans dissected every frame, debating who was right, who was wrong, and whether alliances were permanently broken. Drake watched silently, a predator in his element, knowing that the full scope of the drama would cement his influence in the industry. The first clip showed Kendrick Lamar confronting Travis Scott about unreleased verses. His voice sharp, his frustration barely contained. Travis Scott's defensiveness cracked, revealing insecurity and hidden fears. Nicki Minaj, standing slightly apart, delivered calculated comments that heightened the tension without being obvious. The public reaction was instantaneous. Twitter exploded with fan theories. Instagram was flooded with reaction videos, and media outlets ran non-stop commentary. Kendrick Lamar's reputation for control and composure was under scrutiny. Travis Scott's confidence was questioned, and Nicki Minaj's image as the queen of strategy was solidified. Every second Drake had captured became a viral moment, each frame dissected endlessly. In another clip, Nicki Minaj was seen quietly advising a producer to subtly redirect Kendrick Lamar's attention while bolstering her own influence. The revelation sent shockwaves across Kendrick Lamar's followers were furious, defending his artistry and accusing Nicki Minaj of manipulation. Travis Scott's fans argued that he had been unfairly portrayed as reactive and insecure. Nicki Minaj's fans celebrated her cleverness, calling her the ultimate queen of the studio. Drake's strategy had worked perfectly. He had turned private studio dynamics into a public spectacle, and the drama was escalating faster than anyone could contain. The footage also revealed Kendrick Lamar sharing confidential messages from Travis Scott with Nicki Minaj, moments that suggested mistrust and hidden agendas. Travis Scott's reaction in the clip shocked, frustrated, and visibly tense was dissected in detail. Fans replayed the video endlessly, looking for subtle cues, tone shifts, and body language. Kendrick Lamar, realizing the public had seen his vulnerabilities, posted a vague statement about loyalty and trust, but it only fueled speculation. Travis Scott released a snippet of a studio session meant to showcase professionalism, but fans read between the lines, seeing defensiveness rather than calm. Nicki Minaj, as always, remained enigmatic, sharing lyrics with double meanings that suggested she had known the leaks were coming all along. Drake had orchestrated a perfect storm, and the world watched as the tension between Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, and Nicki Minaj reached its peak. The final leak was the most shocking: behind-the-scenes footage of Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, and Nicki Minaj in a private discussion, where alliances shifted, secrets were revealed, and subtle betrayals were caught on camera. Kendrick Lamar's intensity, Travis Scott's frustration, and Nicki Minaj's sly interventions were all on display, leaving no room for interpretation. Fans debated for hours. Was Nicki Minaj the mastermind? Was Kendrick Lamar too controlling? Was Travis Scott misjudged? Drake had not only captured the footage, he had framed the narrative, controlling the sequence of release to maximize chaos, drama, and public scrutiny. The interplay of ambition, rivalry, and strategy among Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, and Nicki Minaj became the story of the week, dominating news cycles, social media, and fan discussions worldwide. Kendrick Lamar attempted to regain control, reaching out privately to Travis Scott, but their previous tension and public scrutiny made every word fragile. Travis Scott's frustration was palpable. His followers defended him, but the pressure was immense. Nicki Minaj, aware that her every move was analyzed, continued to post ambiguous messages, teasing fans and keeping the drama alive. Drake, observing from the shadows, knew that he had achieved his goal. The footage exposed vulnerabilities, revealed hidden dynamics, and elevated his position as someone who controlled the narrative of the biggest stars in hip-hop. Every leak, every clip, every reaction had been carefully orchestrated. By the end of the day, Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, and Nicki Minaj were forced to confront the reality. Their private moments were public, their reputations debated, and their alliances questioned. Fans and media had formed opinions, theories, and judgments based solely on the footage Drake had leaked. Kendrick Lamar's precision, Travis Scott's spontaneity, and Nicki Minaj's cunning had all been magnified, analyzed, and dissected. Drake had achieved what few could, turning private studio drama into a global spectacle. The stars had no choice but to respond, reflect, and plan their next moves, while the world waited, watching every post, clip, and interview. The aftermath would be remembered for years. Kendrick Lamar's leadership, Travis Scott's resilience, and Nicki Minaj's strategy were all examined under the harsh light of public scrutiny. Fans would replay clips, debate alliances, and speculate about behind-the-scenes intentions for months. Drake, however, had cemented his dominance not through music, but through information, timing, and control. Every leak had served a purpose, every frame had a consequence, and every reaction had been calculated. Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, and Nicki Minaj were no longer just artists, they were players in a public drama orchestrated by Drake, whose reach and foresight had proven unmatched. In the final moments, Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, and Nicki Minaj each reflected privately, realizing that nothing would ever be the same. Drake's exposure had rewritten the rules. Privacy in the studio was an illusion. Secrets had consequences, and public perception could shift in an instant. The footage would live on, analyzed by fans and critics, remembered as the ultimate hip-hop revelation. Drake's plan had succeeded entirely. Kendrick Lamar's intensity, Travis Scott's reactions, and Nicki Minaj's calculated brilliance had all been revealed, and the world would never look at the more Drake the same way again. Don't miss a single moment of the chaos. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you're the first to see every leaked clip, every shocking revelation, and every jaw-dropping reaction from Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, and Nicki Minaj. Comment below who you think came out on top and share this with your friends, because this drama is far from over, and you won't want to miss what happens next.